You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 181. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Barnard, the only male inhabitant of Paradise Island. And that's rough, too.
Oh, man. Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can find our show, plus many other cool podcasts like the all-new Anti-Fanboy, Super Podcasto Magnifico, and Ultimate Faced Palm at rhymeswithgeek.com. Comic Reflections is also available at backissueheroes.com, the home of classic comics on the web. And if you enjoy our show, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I can't believe how I flowed in my elevator speech there.
No.
But it happens to me.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we're going to talk about Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And we've never really talked about her. I think she's...
we complained about her secretarial duties.
in the Justice Society.
Yeah, which was ridiculous.
Right? She's one of the most powerful members, and she's just relegated like, well, why don't you stay at the headquarters and write down stuff and direct us.
In spite of the fact you're the strongest person here, probably.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is pretty bad. And that's so funny because that very thing will come up in the next batch of Wonder Woman issues we read.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've already read them. But
I have not.
But yeah, and I think other than that, we had her in when we did the Justice League, obviously, and I think I'll team up with Superman or Batman one time, when we did the Brave and the Bold. But other than that, we haven't really talked about her at length, and now she's getting a spotlight. So yay!
Yeah.
So the first issue we're going to talk about is Wonder Woman number 182. It's the May and June of 1969 issue. The story is called A Time to Love, A Time to Die. From that song by the Byrds, right?
Well,
I know it's a biblical reference, but come on, it's the 60s. They're making that reference.
Right, yeah, and a time to get your superpowers back.
Right, and hopefully that time will come soon. I want to talk about that in a sec. This was written by Mike Sekowsky. It's just a few issues into this period for Wonder Woman, her powerless period. The first few were written by Denny O'Neil. He kind of did the concept, and then it was just handed off to Mike Sekowsky, who wrote and drew these. Dick Giordano inked them, but I love Sekowsky's art. I think this might be some of his finest work. This and his Man from U.N.C.L.E. stuff, I was like, wow, this is great.
They're making... Oh, I saw the Man from U.N.C.L.E. trailer.
Oh, really? There's a trailer out for the remake, huh?
Looks stupid.
No, I haven't seen it. So
it's like 21 Jump Street movie type thing.
Ooh.
That's the impression I had. Yeah.
Well, I'll see, and then we'll reconvene on that. But anyway, I liked the Man from U.N.C.L.E. comics. I think we read an issue or two of that on the show. And but anyway, this is the quote unquote new Wonder Woman. In the late 60s and in the very early 70s, they said, hey, let's change things up, and so they stripped Wonder Woman of her powers. She failed in her mission as an ambassador from Paradise Island, so the Amazon stripped her of her powers and her title, and so she's just a mortal woman. She's being trained in martial arts by this man, I Ching, and she's like a James Bond with boobs in these issues, it seems.
Yeah,
and I like it. I think it's good comics. I just feel like this would have worked better because Wonder Woman's such an icon. This would have worked better as an altogether different character.
Why not Mary Jane Watson or Gwen Stacy or somebody
like as a spy girl martial artist? That's a cool idea for a comic, and this is a good comic book. But the powerless Wonder Woman would last from issues 178 to 204 when she get her powers back. We just have this one of the powerless era. And then we'll get back into, Wonder Woman as we know and love her.
Yeah. All right. The first panel is Wonder Woman being shot or not. The guy, one of her companions, shoots at them and says, next time I'll hit you, or something. But I'll leave you all alone because I'm not really a bad guy, but I am leaving you in my helicopter to die.
Yeah. Okay.
So Wonder Woman is with Ching, who is a
blind Chinese man.
Rip-off of Charlie Chan, who I'm reading now. And,
are you?
I'm reading calling Charlie Chan or something like that, and Charlie Chan calls.
Yeah.
And their books are wonderful. It's really funny. He's a really good character.
How do the books compare to the Warner Oland movies?
Oh,
I love that actor.
yeah. Warner Oland, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty good. The
that.
Eggers, or Biggers, excuse me, who
wrote the books. Yeah.
He made it because he was appalled at anti-Oriental bigotry, and so he heard about this Honolulu detective, and so I'll make a character like that. And Charlie Chan was super popular in China. They
Really?
actually made
He's super popular in America.
Yeah, and Warner Oland went to China, which is what he always wanted to do, and they treated him like a king.
Good.
So it's really
well. He played a character, who represented them, and he represented them in such a positive, non-stereotyped way.
Yeah, it was the first Asian character who was not a Fu Manchu, who I like Fu Manchu,
or a manservant, or something like that,
or a sneaky Jack, or something.
Right.
Like that, and
he was the first and last for a long time.
Indeed, until K2, I guess.
Oh,
he was Japanese, and then he was Filipino during World War II. So.
Sure.
So, but it's
sorry, the Green Hornet character. I'm thinking of Bruce Lee playing him in the TV show, but I forgot he was in the radio and the comics before that.
Mm-hmm.
Duh.
Yeah, but Bruce Lee was super cool. Man, I wish they had done that show better.
Yeah. Do you remember the issue of Superman we read where? Maybe I didn't do it with you. Maybe I did it with Spencer, where Wonder Woman and I Ching team up with Superman.
I don't remember that at all.
Maybe it's something we've got coming up because I did some. You couldn't do the show for a few weeks. This was a while back. This was like last year, and I did. Okay, I looked through my inventory. Everything I had doubles of. I just said went and I did with Spencer to kind of fill in.
Okay.
And then so you wouldn't miss out on anything that we had planned coming up. And I think that was in one of those. So we will read that later this year.
Oh, cool. Yeah. But Ching is definitely Chang.
Yeah.
He's blind and full of ancient Chinese wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's this woman there who is Dr. Cyber.
Which is a great name. I think that's a great name for a villainess.
Really?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
I don't like Dr. Evil people.
Really?
I think Dr. Evil was used because it's so silly in the show. Well,
Dr. Evil's originally the nemesis of Captain Action.
Really?
The original action figure.
Wow, that's cool.
But anyway.
Well, Dr. Cyber has a
but I don't know why she's called that. Is she a cyborg? I have no idea. And I should have looked it up. I totally forgot.
Yeah, but she has this army of college co-eds, apparently. And they're easy on the eyes.
Yeah.
And she has these stupid hunter falcons. Oh, my God. And
it's like Dolomite's all-girl army.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, man.
Dolomite. Yeah. He put his fingers in the ground and turned the whole world around. I love Dolomite. That's one of the few quotes I can do on this show that's not safe for work.
Yeah. They're awful movies, but what a great character.
Yeah, they are bad movies, but the character...
bad.
Yeah.
All right. You can just watch the preview of The Human Tornado. Or Tornado. What do you call it?
The Human Tornado. I love that movie. And it's so funny. I was watching that, and it got stuck in my VCR. That's what's stuck in my VCR right now.
Oh, no.
Is The Human Tornado.
Oh, no. You have a VCR?
Yeah.
Man, get to the 21st century, dude.
Really? We're reading Silver Age comics.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You forgot.
Yeah. All right, so these Falcons kick some butt, and they're kicking, well, not Wonder Woman, Diana Prince's butt. But she uses Kung Fu against them and beats them up. It's kind of ridiculous. So this guy, who's a handsome chap, but he wears plaid, comes by and picks her up. It is the 60s, I suppose.
Indeed.
So it's all Dr. Cyber's plan. I don't know why she just didn't kill them, but...
Because that would be the end of the series.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
The new boy friend, and you see that's coming.
Yeah.
He takes her out, buys her clothes.
Yeah, and he starts romancing Diana.
Man, the clothes are awful.
But it's the mod period,
Yeah, maybe they look good in real life, but I'm a butterfly in the first day of spring, says Diana Prince.
Really? I know, but see, she's stripped of... They mentioned later she doesn't have full control of her emotions like she did when she was Wonder Woman. Well, when she actually had her powers.
Yeah.
Because being an Amazon, she had all these other things, aspects and attributes. She gets this great kind of Emma Peel-looking costume that's great.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I wonder who this... Oh, is that supposed to be Andy Warhol?
Who knows?
Yeah.
I think it's just supposed to be somebody.
I don't know. It looks, how
the guy's wearing an Edwardian sports coat and then, like, a Doctor Who scarf.
Would it be Doctor Who? I don't think so.
No.
But it has, sometimes you just know that they're depicting a real person. They look different, and that's got me there.
Yeah.
So
it's odd because he's in the foreground, and then yeah. So anyway,
Ching goes to another Chinese gentleman in Chinatown, and
in London.
In London, yeah. Soho, I think, is their Chinatown.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And he served tea, but it's a bomb.
Man.
And the blind guy, Ching, notices something's wrong first, and the guy whose daughter it supposedly doesn't realize until after Ching realizes it. So
it's part of that, like, oh, blind guy, but he's got, like, enhanced senses kind of jazz.
Yeah. Well, the bomb explodes.
And what did he go... Was Ching just visiting because they were friends, or was he trying to get information?
Get information.
Okay.
And the girl dies, but before she dies, she tells him there's going to be a treasure hunt.
Oh, okay.
And while Diana Prince is getting clothes that look really stupid, she hears about the treasure hunt as well. Some rich dame is having a party.
Right.
Oh, we have Marriage a la Mode.
Oh, filler reprint that I have no credits for that I was hoping you weren't going to mention.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, just like, talking about marriage or in other cultures and how one chooses a mate or what have you.
Yeah.
And these are weird.
Yeah.
These are weird because they're very old compared to the material that's original in the issues. And it's kind of like, we're selling this to girls. What do chicks think about? Oh, getting married.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, I think about getting married. Well, I mean, maybe. But it's just kind of part of about, like, DC being so old-fashioned. And it's weird because this Wonder Woman book is definitely trying to be hip. Yeah. And I think succeeding.
I don't know. I have such a low tolerance for hip.
So but I mean, it feels so 1969. Like it's very in that moment.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was already too late or something.
Probably. It was probably a few years past it. Because this is feeling kind of like the early part of the 60s that are like that extension of the 50s, but like hipper and kind of cooler somehow.
Maybe.
And before the counterculture.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool ad for Aquaman.
Yeah, and that's a really iconic cover. Can you read what number is that?
45?
Yes, and it's that cover where Aquaman is washed up on the shore and he's got a note pinned to his chest. He's unconscious and says, "Wanted by the underworld, Aquaman, dead or alive."
And then mark out alive.
Yeah.
And there's a big Y next to the HY.
And those are great issues. That's a great period for Aquaman. Aquaman's kicking a lot of butt at this time.
Absolutely beautiful cover.
Yeah.
Oh, and Nightmaster.
Yeah.
I never heard of.
Nightmaster was a sword and sorcery character who appeared in a few issues of Showcase, which was, DC's tryout book. Didn't really go anywhere, but it did have some early art from Bernie Wrightson. And it's fairly fondly remembered. It's just it was a little... This was a bit before the sword and sorcery explosion of the 70s, the success of Conan that brought out Sonya and Kull and a few imitators at DC. But Nightmaster, I don't think really got revisited.
Yeah. Oh well. Let's see. So they figure out how to go to the treasure hunt party, and they go and they get captured by the woman
who's hosting the party.
Yeah, she's got a gun, and then she puts them into the cell, and Wonder Woman uses, what does she use? It's some kind of bracelet. Oh, she uses a secret bracelet that makes them. Oh, you can throw and it has a string to it.
And she grabs the Ring of Keys. It's very like, hey, something that M or Q or whatever from the Bond movies gives. Which one is the one with the gadgets?
Q.
Q. Thank you.
All right.
Because I have never watched those movies.
You haven't?
No, I've seen like parts of a few of them.
Dude, watch.
Someday I will.
Yeah. Okay. Watch Sean Connery. At least watch From Russia with Love and Goldfinger.
Okay.
And then you can watch the newer ones with Daniel Craig. The first one and the third one. Skip the second one. And that's 4 movies, 8 hours of your life, and you'll spend them in enjoyment.
Okay. I do like Daniel. I haven't seen any of his Bond movies, but I like Daniel Craig. He looks like Steve McQueen.
Ooh.
He really does.
Kind of acts like him, too.
I mean...
And I like Steve McQueen.
I'm like, why is...
Steve McQueen as James Bond? Ooh. Oh, American...
Yeah, but I mean, like... He was an actor. He could put on an accent. But, like, you watch all of Steve McQueen's movies, and he's such a stud. Like, just kicking butt or just doing all these adventurous things.
Probably the coolest person to ever live.
Yeah. I'm like, why isn't Daniel Craig in a Steve McQueen biopic? He's perfect. He looks just like him. He's a great actor, so you know he could do it.
Yeah.
And he looks just like Steve McQueen. So, anyway.
Yeah, so they escape, and they get the clues for the treasure hunt. Oh, so they go treasure hunting, and they figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And the girls attack them, and they get the bad girls attack them, and Diana Prince uses her super kung fu powers, which is regular powers, and she kicks their butts.
Wait, before you turn the page, there's a house ad I want to talk about.
Oh.
Featuring the Legion of Superheroes in Adventure Comics. Looks like they're in trouble.
The Amazing Space Odyssey of the Legion. Wow.
And looks like, Bouncing Boy and Triplicate Girl and Ultra Boy.
And Superman being eaten by a dinosaur.
Yes! I mean, not yes, but you know what I mean. It looks exciting.
Yeah.
So, anyway, back to Wonder Woman.
All right. She's still kicking butt.
Yeah, she is.
And, let's see. Oh, they finally knock out Diana Prince. And this whole treasure hunt thing was just a scheme to steal diamonds and jewelry from old ladies at a party. Here we go with the rich party, and that's where people
my gosh. Spencer and I have been talking about this a lot. It happens a lot in Green Lantern, too. We read, several stories like Masquerade Ball. Villain shows up to steal jewelry.
I guess it's interesting. It's a reason to have a bunch of people together.
Yeah, but I think a lot of comic book plots also get to be okay, what is a super cliche trope of television or something? Oh, somebody stole the jewels, you know, and not everything can be a bank robbery or world domination. It seems like those are the 3 things: jewels, bank robbery, or world domination.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Okay, so. No surprise here. Oh, actually, we were actually told that Diana Prince's new boyfriend was a bad guy. Yeah, so it was all a trick, and she is mad and crying because she made him feel for her. Yeah. And then she beats him up. Right. And he has 2 Lugers, which is interesting. And the guy in the beginning has a Luger as well. The Luger is the most elegant-looking pistol ever. It's pretty great. Yeah. Okay. Big tears from Diana. Right, almost too big. So yeah. Okay. Oh, we find out in Paradise Island that her mother needs Diana Prince. Yeah. But I mean, it won't be that thing. It won't be her getting her powers back for quite a while. So. Yeah. Okay, I want to mention the wedding forecast final page. Another just weird filler, but. But you did mention it. Oh, I didn't mean to. Oh, okay. So, but let's talk about another issue. It's Wonder Woman number 207. It's the August and September of 1973 issue. It's just a few issues after Wonder Woman has gained her powers and title back, and so it's the classic Wonder Woman. Yeah.
The lead story is called "The Riddle of the Chinese Mummy Case," written by Bob Conager, with art penciled by Rick Estrada and inked by Vince Colletta.
Huh. It's very interesting drawn. Very, I don't know.
Rick Estrada's art is kind of cartoony.
Yeah, I was
which you think you wouldn't,
Archie.
Which you wouldn't think you would pick up on in a comic book, but it really looks more like animation than comic book art.
Very interesting.
You know,
okay.
It's okay though.
Yeah, Diana Prince is in an elevator and it stops. Splang, I like that. and she changes into her Wonder Woman outfit. She has superpowers again, and you see her changing, and in the background, faded, is her in her underwear.
Right.
It's kind of kooky. So,
or is it kinky? No, it's kooky. Kidding. So.
I was not affected that way.
No, I wasn't. I didn't
Your
even.
results may vary.
That's funny. No, I didn't even notice that actually when I read it. So, so anyway,
That's
she is.
Why you got me here?
Oh yeah, I can always count on you to pick up on these things, Jeff. But yes, so Wonder Woman, when the elevator crashes, she finds this thing that's got ancient scrolls in it, and that's where her story comes from.
Yeah, what a goofball thing to happen. It's I found this ancient artifact in China. No, so she. All right. Actually, I don't know. They're digging up this mummy and they break it.
The sarcophagus.
Yeah. And then they build it back together. They're called Wonder Woman. They build it back together, and because she's good at jigsaw puzzles. I'm not joking. I'm deadly serious here. So she builds it out, and then she opens the sarcophagus, and then it's Wonder Woman and this Chinese chick in
stone figure form.
Yeah, in Amazon pants.
Weird.
Yeah. And
so then Wonder Woman flies in the air.
So she calls her plane.
Yeah.
And then goes to the Amazon scientists.
So here's the thing. I was thinking about... Pause for a sec. I was thinking about, like, why... Wonder Woman can fly. Why does she have the invisible jet? But then I realized she can fly, but not at, like, supersonic speed. Not like Superman.
Yeah.
So,
invisible jet's cool, man.
Yeah, she calls it the robot plane with the invisible jet. But I mean, it's so weird.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Okay.
But it's so tied into her. You know, like Batman, it's like the Batmobile. You know, like Batman, you don't hear about that bat plane all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is her thing. And, they try to do the thing. Remember we read that thing about Superman? He made a super... Mobile or something like that.
Yeah, because he needed it because he was losing his powers because he's fighting Amazo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazo the android. Why is it just the name?
Yeah, just the name.
I love Amazo though.
Yeah. That was a cool car though. I'd love to have that.
Yeah, it was.
Although it may have been invented to sell toys.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Because it looked like a toy.
It would have worked for me.
So. Okay. So.
All right. So.
Wonder Woman goes back in time.
You have to figure out why she was an effigy in this thing.
Yeah, so an Amazonian scientist sends her back in time.
Yeah.
And so she goes and fights the Mongol hordes.
Why don't she... Oh, that's an interesting thing. Okay.
You know, like,
go on.
Right, like, because it's like clearly she's alive in the future, so like, who cares?
Right.
But...
yeah, she comes back and the Mongols are trying to take over China. And, well, they actually do in real life. And the Mongols are not... they're not feminist. Okay. So they think women are evil. And
evil?
Well, not... Oh, I'm sure they do. Well, or not... Or... Place, you know, they're... What women are for, according to Mongols, is to make the bed and lie in it or something.
Yeah,
and
got it.
And, you know, they're not... But
they're not enlightened.
Huh?
They're not enlightened.
Yeah. There's an Amazon kingdom in China. And so they're going to take it over. The Mongols are.
Anyway, Wonder Woman does some Mongol fighting, and it's pretty enjoyable.
Yeah. It is very cartoony. It does look like Super Friends.
Yeah, it does. I mean, Rick Estrada is a fine artist. But I mean, it's enjoyable to look at here. But it does look like I'm reading Super Friends, and it's so funny because Ramona Fradon, who illustrated the Super Friends series, her art is also very cartoonish. But she also did some terrific art, also very cartoony looking, on Metamorpho and Aquaman. She was great, but but you almost half expect Scooby and the gang to just show up,
right?
So
something. Oh, the Wonder Twins.
Yeah.
God almighty, I hated them.
Well, I'll take them over Wendy and Marvin.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. That's who I was thinking of. Man, and that stupid Wonder Dog. Was it Wonder Dog?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But the Wonder Twins and then Gleek the monkey, they're quite a bit better than Wendy and Marvin and the Super Dog. Yeah. So, anyway.
When you love to been in the boardroom and they're discussing this, the Wonder Twins aren't hip enough. We need Wendy and Marvin and Wonder Dog.
Well, Wendy and Marvin came first, and then the Wonder Twins.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but I mean, it's like, why do we need to add kids and a dog or a monkey?
You have Superman, Wonder Woman, and the big tall Indian dude.
Well, that's later, but
yeah.
But
I mean,
Apache Chief. I mean, like, but here's the thing. Like, I get that. Let's talk about Super Friends for a minute.
Okay.
What always boggles my mind is when comic books are adapted into animation.
Yeah.
When they create original series characters for the series that aren't like incidental characters, it boggles my mind because you have all these characters from the comic books to draw from. You don't need these. You have like
I have an idea why.
Maybe they only licensed certain characters.
Because of Do-Re-Mi.
That could be it. But also, you don't need Wendy or Marvin because things can happen in the world. But I mean, it's Hanna-Barbera. What do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I cannot hate Hanna-Barbera. They made Johnny Quest, the original one.
And they made the original Fantastic Four cartoon.
Yeah.
And because of the weird rights situation, because it's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon that's owned by Disney, because Marvel Comics, and then Fox owns the film rights, so that and those old Fantastic Four cartoons are just in limbo. I have them as a bootleg, so I've watched and enjoyed them. But yeah, you're not going to see an official DVD release of those in this life.
It took so long for the Batman TV series, and I finally got it for Christmas. I haven't opened it yet. I'm not sure if it might be I've been waiting so long, it might be a letdown to watch them, but I don't know. I saw them recently on TV, and they were super fun.
And they are really fun. I mean, so.
All right, so she beats the crap out of Mongols. She said, well, we need to keep these Mongols out, so I'll build the Great Wall of China, which is okay, and that's not what I heard. I mean,
right. I mean, maybe it was things happened differently on Earth 2. I think this is Earth 2. Excuse me, Earth 1. Earth 1. But what bugged me about this was, it took them hundreds of years to build the Great Wall of China. Many people died and were buried in it.
It might be hundreds of thousands, at least tens of thousands.
People.
Yeah.
And to make something light of that sacrifice, by like, oh, Wonder Woman just made it in a day.
Yeah, also, it's kind of insulting to ancient people. Same thing as Chariots of Gods. Oh, Egyptians could have been smart enough to build the pyramids.
It had to be
dumb
aliens.
Foreigners.
Right.
For crying out loud.
Yeah, so the Chinese couldn't build this Great Wall. It took a white woman to come and take care of you because you're babies.
Right. And it's just insulting the ancient peoples. The Romans made concrete that is better than anything we can make today.
Yeah, but we think, oh, it's old, they needed help from somebody. No, maybe they just had ingenuity.
Yeah.
That's a thing. So,
yeah.
Although the idea that it's a fun idea to say aliens helped us build these great civilizations, and then they're lost to history because there's so much lost history. Right. That's a fun thing, but that's science fiction.
Yeah,
that's not real life.
The only thing I thought was the crystal skull, which was that's really cool. People couldn't have made that, and said, I mean, people make them every day. So, but that's the only thing that really hit me. So
right,
and those Mayan things, it does look like a guy in a spacesuit. or spaceship.
Sure.
But yeah, it's stupid. So,
but see, we're looking at with our modern lens. I'm like, oh, spaceships are a thing,
yeah.
And so we can look at that like, hey, that looks like a spaceship.
Yeah,
you know. So
I don't know, someone's dining room. Who knows?
Right.
But,
so anyway,
okay. What?
So Wonder Woman builds the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, and they make her a little effigy, and that explains it.
Yeah, and then she goes back to. We got to get back to the future, Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Her letter thing is called Princessions. I don't get that.
Her pet letter call title? Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Princessions? What the hell does that mean?
It's lousy.
Oh, here's the Prez.
Oh, yeah. The short-lived humorous series at DC was Prez, the first teen president of the United States. I think it lasted like 5 or 6 issues. Yeah. I've read an issue. It's fun. It's silly.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a backup story, I should say, in this issue called The Four Dooms. And this was also written by Robert Kanigher, penciled by Rick Estrada, and inked by Vince Colletta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same look to it.
Yeah, which isn't a bad look. I mean, Rick Estrada knows how to draw pretty girls.
Yeah, she does.
I think he did some work on Supergirl later, too.
Mm-hmm.
Or probably around this time. But anyway.
Okay, we have Transformation Island, which this is something new to me.
Okay.
It's a rehabilitation place for Amazons where they can learn to be and turn as criminals into law-abiding men-killing Amazons.
Okay.
Okay. So they use love to fix the criminals.
Okay.
All right. So they're going around and doing stuff, and I don't know, Amazon stuff, throwing an apple to somebody, and
I have to say, I like Wonder Woman, but anything that's happening on Paradise Island, I don't care.
Yeah, except for the eye candy, I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So there's this one girl called Inventor, and oddly enough, she's an inventor.
Wow. What are the chances?
I wonder if her mother gave her
inventor.
That name.
She's an inventor.
Yeah. I wonder if her mother gave her that name so she would be one, or did she change it? Or
I don't know.
Well, there is this.
I mean, maybe they come from magic and stuff, so maybe there are attributes that you're born with.
Or they can tell this person will be an inventor.
Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. There's something with the. It's not a girdle, is it? It's a. Yeah, it's a Venus girdle. Okay. And there's a lock and key to it, so no sexual imagery there. Okay.
Yeah, you've never had any of that in Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I was disappointed with all 3 issues. No one gets tied up.
Right, and the Golden Age Wonder Womans, it's like somebody gets tied up on practically every page.
Yeah, Marston, the guy.
William Moulton Marston, yeah. He was a polygamist. Well, he practiced polyamory.
Yeah.
And he was a psychologist. He invented the lie detector. He was an interesting cat. Weird.
Yeah.
But interesting.
But he likes his girls tied up.
Yeah. And he invented Wonder Woman, who became this feminist icon. But there's a lot of bondage and submission involved in her superheroics, and it's weird.
Yeah. Wonder Woman was on the first page of first cover of Ms. Magazine.
Correct.
First, so.
Yes.
All right. So they're having. Oh my God! I just realized they're having the Olympics on Amazon, and
they're riding big old kangaroos.
Oh, it's hilarious!
And they're sword fighting on kangaroo back.
Yeah.
That really happened.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Wonder Woman wins. Surprise! Inventor breaks free, and she unlocks the girdles and gets a bunch of other criminal girls. And they get in a glider, they fall in the ocean, and send up a flare. Wonder Woman saves the day, and they bring him in, and then they try to take over Paradise Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, there's a huge, big fight.
Mm-hmm.
Inventor and the gals put up a good fight, but, of course, you know what's going to happen to them.
Yeah. But they do capture Wonder Woman.
Oh, they are tied up.
In the last page, though. It took the last page for somebody to get tied up. But yeah, Wonder Woman and Hippolyta, her mother, are captured by Inventa, and it's a cliffhanger.
No, they got to meet the 4 Dooms.
Yeah.
instead of the 4 bazooms.
Oh,
I didn't
you
know what
went
else.
there.
I know. I couldn't help it.
All right.
So
So
we don't have the next one of those, but it was okay.
yeah, so we got a couple more issues to talk about, and this one I want to. There's special notes about this here. It's Wonder Woman number 213. It's the August and September of 1974 issue, and the story is called "The War No More Machine." Carrie Bates wrote it, and so of course it's overly complicated, as Carrie Bates tends to do. With pencils by Irv Novick and inks by Tex Blaisdell.
It's
The weird thing about this is there's a framing sequence and narration by The Flash.
Yeah.
And the reason they have this, get this, Wonder Woman left the Justice League when she was stripped of her powers, right? Mm-hmm. And so when she wanted to join the Justice League, rejoin them, the Justice League said, okay, but you got to go on a series of adventures we got to record and then decide whether or not to let you back in the League.
Boo!
Boo is right. She's a founding member of the Justice League.
All right. And, did she have her powers back? Hey, Superman or whatever. How about doing arm wrestling with her? And
yeah, just test her powers. But I mean, she's your friend, longtime ally. You're just going to, throw her under the bus like this?
Oh, well, maybe it's in the rules that...
In the charter of the Justice League?
Yeah, and they got to do that. So
I mean, it's probably when they
she might have written it herself.
When the Justice League, the Magnificent Seven first got together. Yeah. Of course, this is Earth 1 because the Earth 2 Wonder Woman was in the Justice Society, but I wonder if there were stringent things of when they allowed other people in, when the Green Arrow and the Atom and other people were added over time. But I don't remember this kind of thing for them either.
No,
they usually just invited somebody that they thought was cool.
Yeah, but if someone leaves and comes back, maybe something different.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
because we'll see. Because the Martian Manhunter, he was the first person to leave the Justice League, and then he came back. But I don't know if he had to do anything like this. But the real answer is it's an editorial choice because if she has to go through, however many issues where she's got to have a different member of the Justice League record that adventure and kind of guest appear in that issue, they can put the Flash or Green Lantern on the cover, and that's another point of sale. That's another reason for somebody to pick up the book who might not. Oh, the Flash is in this one. I read the Flash. I don't get Wonder Woman all the time, but I'll check it out. The Flash is in there.
Yeah. And nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and that's the real answer.
Yeah.
And so
it's still bad. I mean, it's kind of if it's in the charter and it may that just came out of the top of my head, but that's okay. You got a stupid rule. They're superheroes. They need to follow the rules. But it's kind of.
I mean,
it's a bunch of stuff. It's not
if Zatanna lost her powers and then left the League and tried to came back, I can understand that. But this is Wonder Woman. She founded the League with the rest of those guys. And I feel like it's a double standard that they're foisting on her because she's a woman.
Yeah. Besides, all this because for another secretary?
Well, right, because remember in the Justice Society, she was the secretary, which is ridiculous because she was more powerful than most of the guys.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it had better means of transportation, too.
Right. Because other than, I think, it's debatable about Green Lantern, but other than Green Lantern, the Spectre, and Dr. Fate, she's definitely the most powerful member of the Justice Society. Hands down.
Yeah.
Well, and Superman, but he was more an honorary member in the 40s. So, but anyway, what's going on with this story?
Okay. We have this hippie chick who's against war. And then
surprise.
Yeah.
Man, what a hard stance to take.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we have this Marty Trag. What a great name. He's a crook. He runs into a fence post or lamp post, and Angie Blake, the hippie, gets a splinter. And Diana Prince, as Wonder Woman, stubs her toe, along with this electrical thing happening the same time this three-legged, Freud alert,
oh boy,
cybernaut makes peace around the country and makes
world.
everybody super pacifist.
Around the world, not just the country.
Oh, yeah.
And that becomes, oddly, a weird problem.
And I could...
And Carrie Bates was kind of a hippie, so I don't know what the hell he's trying to say with this.
I don't know. The hippie chick is nice, and the other guy's bad. There can be too much peace, I guess. Okay, things happen. Like in Brazil, locusts are not defended against, so all the food's been eaten.
Right. Because no one will lift a hand against anybody.
Right. And you gotta say because I guess the animals are still like animals. They're not pacifists.
Right.
They're super pacifists.
Yeah.
And Japan's in trouble because their karate matches, no one will fight against each other.
And the Eskimos won't kill any animals to feed themselves, so they're going to starve. So the government airdrops food in.
Yeah. What? I mean, these are kind of lame. There's all the...
Yeah. Remember all the lame Superman stories that Carrie Bates wrote?
Yeah.
He wrote some good Legion stories, some good Flash stories, some good Justice League stories. But
super pacifism would be a problem. In this case, I think it would be a bad thing. I don't think people could function.
Yeah, but it's interesting because Wonder Woman is an ambassador of peace, but she's also a warrior. So she has that duality. And it's interesting. I guess this storyline is just, it works. It's a good idea for a Wonder Woman story.
Yeah. All right.
It would be dumb. It wouldn't be as poignant as a Batman story or a Green Lantern story.
Unless Batman was turned into a super pacifist, then it might be interesting. And Robin was the go-getter.
The aggressor. Or if the Hawk and Dove kind of reversed roles.
Ooh.
Because, remember, Dove was the pacifist.
Yeah.
This would be an interesting Hawk and Dove story.
Yeah. Why didn't they think of that?
Probably because Hawk and Dove didn't have a series at this time.
Oh. Okay, so everybody but the three people we just mentioned, because they stubbed their toe or something, happened during an electrical storm.
Okay.
Which
doesn't make
everybody
any
else
sense.
Is the pain of something with electricity.
Oh, because the cybernaut was sending out electrical waves or something to do this.
And nobody stubbed their toe in a lightning storm anywhere else on Earth except for there.
Right.
So Marty Trag, he
becomes a skyjacker.
Yeah, and no one fights against him, so they panic and they stop flying the plane. They're about to crash. So Wonder Woman saves the day
in the invisible jet.
Yeah, and she uses her lasso, and she
spins it around herself to change into costume.
Yeah, I couldn't put that into words.
It's okay. I think that's kind of fun. I mean, remember on the show she spun around and just.
Yeah, but it was Linda Carter, and So everybody is, I don't know.
Oh, there was did you notice the character that was supposed to be Dr. Henry Kissinger?
Yeah, I noticed that.
And when I read, then I realized it right away, and then I started reading his lines in the Kissinger voice.
Oh.
Like, the Dr. Henry Kissinger, hello, Von der Wellman, Diana, blah, 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 blah. That voice.
Yeah, that's so funny. Kissinger did have one great line. He said, the fighting in Academe is so fierce because the stakes are so low.
Interesting.
Because there'll be a huge fight over a parking lot or something like that.
Sure.
And you got these erudite people, and you don't do much of anything. Okay, so they figure out that there were 3 non-pacifists, and they... Oh, goodness. In Paradise Island, they're being attacked by this... Oh, Rhinotaur.
Rhinotaur. I love it. It's like a bull with another horn. And it's big like a rhinoceros. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of meh. So the Amazons are running away like frightened little women. And
oh boy.
Yeah. So they're concerned. So they figure out where it's at. So they figure
where
out
is it at?
Where the cybernaut is at.
Well, it's like a giant robot, right? It shouldn't be hard to spot.
Yeah, with 3 legs. That was interesting.
I know, it's weird.
All right, so well, the hippie chick doesn't want to fight because I don't want to fight
because reasons. Yeah.
And Flash is there. He's watching all of this, but he can't do anything because he's a pacifist too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And the Cybernaut is about to smash Wonder Woman's head with his shoe. I wonder if that would hurt him.
I don't know.
Hurt her rather. So the hippie chick and the criminal use the magic lasso and knock down Cybernaut.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool house ad.
Yeah. Wonder Woman.
That's this issue.
Is that this issue?
Yeah. See the Flash on the cover?
I'll be done.
But yeah, they got the Witching Hour, Commandy, Action Comics, The Losers, Rima the Jungle Girl, The Phantom Stranger, and The Shadow. Great house ad.
Yeah. Superman being beaten up by Lois Lane. Cool. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, Wonder Woman gets her lasso back. She kicks butt and find out that the Cybernaut is made by this alien doctor or scientist to bring peace, but he brings too much peace.
Oh,
and I think that is true. I mean, as a super pacifist, you'd be afraid of a stuck door or something. You have to have some kind of conflict.
Removing all aggression renders you defenseless and unable to even take care of yourself. So I get that. And they
could explain it better.
It's an interesting concept to play with. But yeah. And so our last issue for this episode, let's talk about this. It's Wonder Woman number 224. It's the June and July of 1976 issue. And the story is called Wonder Woman versus the United States. Written by Martin Pascoe, penciled by Kurt Swan, and inked by Vince Colletta. I think Kurt Swan does a nice job doing Wonder Woman.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah.
Okay, we see Lois Lane talking to Wonder Woman who's behind bars. And then she tells the story why she's behind bars. Somebody, one of the American pilots in a plane is killed over Paradise Island. So Wonder Woman is sent back to atone for that, and she's arrested because
the Amazons are being blamed for this. Right. Some other belligerent obviously has done this. But
we hope.
Right?
Yeah. She takes care of a big riot.
Yeah.
Well, she's at a ship, and what is the ship's name?
Like a shipyard. It doesn't matter. She christens the ship. Oh
yeah.
But there's a riot and protesters about her, put her in jail. She uses the lasso to kind of, she swings it in a big arc to get people to, chill out so that, they'll calm down and disperse.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting.
Okay. All right. She tells Lois, hey, I'm going to break the joint and we'll get out of here. And she uses her lasso to make...
like a weird dummy that will, kind of fool people for a while and not let them know that she's gone.
Yep, and then she disappears.
Yeah.
Alright, so Steve Trevor was dead, now he's alive.
Yeah, which I was wondering, where is Steve Trevor in all these issues? Apparently he was dead, I didn't know.
Yeah. I've never been a huge fan of Steve Trevor.
But I think he needs to be around. Whether he and Diana are romantically involved.
Well, you need an everyman. You need somebody to... It's like... Hey, y'all Amazons are kind of kooky. Explain this or something.
Well, right. It's just like Superman needs Lois Lane around. Same... Steve Trevor serves that role. He's a capable guy.
Yeah.
But he is kind of just a schmo compared to Wonder Woman because she can do everything. So, anyway.
Yeah. And,
But he loves her.
Yeah. And she tells him she's getting a headache. That whole thing.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Okay. Man, the Queen, I cannot pronounce her
Hippolyta.
name. Hippolyta.
Aren't you glad I'm here to help you?
Yes, I am. She looks like Diana's sister. She doesn't look like...
Well, because the Amazons, they...
don't age.
Or they age very slowly. So, so yeah, Hippolyta still stays young and beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Well,
because they're magic and stuff.
Yeah. There's another revolt.
How revolting.
Yeah. Panthea, I guess.
Yeah.
She's
another disgruntled Amazon.
Man, they're all over the place.
And there's a lot of them, it seems.
Mm-hmm. So
like who do we have? Oh, just have another one of the Amazons be kind of pissy, you know?
Yeah. Oh, one of them commits suicide instead of giving
information to Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. All right.
But Wonder Woman beats up these rebels.
Bonking heads together is my favorite.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Okay. Wonder Woman fights. She takes these trees and she makes spears with them. Just by smacking them around.
That's great.
Yeah. So they found out that Panthea, Panthea. She is the one to cause. They put a big bubble over Paradise Island and the planes flew into it. She did that on purpose.
Right.
Which is not cool.
But she's a warrior, and I think she was tired of peace or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so Wonder Woman is exonerated, and the
president says so.
Yeah, President Ford.
Yeah.
And well, it's 74, so yeah, it's 1976. So yeah, still President.
Oh, the Independence. That's why the ship was named Independence.
Yeah. And so and then. Last panel is Wonder Woman kissing Steve. Yay!
Yeah.
Who I didn't know was dead.
Yeah. Wonder Words is what they call
the letter call now.
Mm-hmm.
Much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's better than what was the other one? It was terrible.
Oh, okay. Concessions or something like that?
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
Like Confessions, but Princess. It's just bad.
Yeah. Maybe it was something funny then or something.
I don't know. God. I've read things where the letter call title kept getting changed, and it was just like they took fan submissions and changed it all the time in certain magazines. But Concessions, that's awful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe somebody won a contest, and I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. They were fun. Wonder Woman, so I like them.
Well, we've got another batch of 4 for next week. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, see you in the funny pages. Yeah.